Hello, everyone, and welcome to English with Beat. Today, we are actually going to continue our lesson that we took last time. It was actually about adverbs, if you remember. That lesson was titled Lesson 6A. I mean, that was the part of Lesson 6. Now, this is the part B of Lesson 6. Because we actually talked about the first three kinds of adverbs in that video. Today we're going to talk about the remaining kinds of the adverbs. But don't worry, if you are a new viewer of this video, for example, you have not followed the previous one, I'm going to just have a quick overview to actually have the idea what is happening in this video. The concept is when you want to modify action means verbs. If you want to modify the verb, if you want to tell how something happened. So to answer the question how something happened, you need adverbs, right? I just need to write an example here to get the quick overview of it. He drives. He drives, it's a complete sentence, but if you say he drives slowly, so when you added this word in that sentence, he drives slowly. So this word is actually modifying and describing the how of this action. How was the driving, or how is the driving? So if you want to tell the how of something or action, you need to use the word adverbs. They are called adverbs. The question is, there are kinds of adverbs like manner, place, time, degree, and frequency. What kind of adverb is this? So remember, any adverb that is formed by adding ly in the end, that is called a suffix. So when you're adding suffix at the end of an adjective, so that becomes an adverb. So that kind of adverb where you add ly to form it from adjective to an adverb, we call them adverb of manner. Okay? And he drives. Here. So when you say he drives here, so if you talk about the place of any action without preposition, there is no preposition here like in, on, at, or any other prepositions are not here. But if you see any place, something that talks about place, without any preposition, that word is actually called also an adverb because it talks about the place of an action without preposition. So we call them adverb of place. This is called adverb of place. And now the third example is he drives tonight. So here, the adverb is talking about how the action happened. Here it talks about where an action happened without preposition. And here it talks about, what does it talk about? Time of that action without preposition again. So that we call them adverb of time. We learn these kinds in details in last lesson, lesson 6A. If you want to know more details about these three kinds, you can go back and check my previous video of lesson 6A about adverbs. But today, we're going to talk about the other two kinds in this lesson. So let's talk about the next kind. He is a slow driver. when you say he is a slow driver. So slow is not an adverb here, it's an adjective. When you make it an adverb, so you have to add ly here, slowly. So that's an entirely different example. But here, what is our focus? The focus is I want to tell that degree of how much slow he is. You say he is a slow driver, but how much slow he is a driver? Or he is a fluent speaker. How much fluent he is in English. So to tell the answer to the question how much, right, you need to use some words to tell how much something is. For example, he is a very slow driver. A very. So when you use the word very, so very is actually tells the degree of slow. And slow here is an adjective. So some adverbs, they actually works as the degree for an adjective that is called degree adverbs. Very, and I'm going to list here. So slow. He is so slow, right? So is also a degree adverb. He is too good. He is too slow. He is rather, so, too, slow, very. So all these words, when they are used before an adjective, we call them the degree adverbs. Remember one thing, these kind of adverbs, we call them degree adverbs, they work for adjectives, but they also work for adverbs itself. Yeah, such adverbs also tell the degree of another adverb. For example, he is driving slowly. We have another example here. He is driving slowly. This is a complete sentence according to the sentence structure. He is driving slowly, and this word is an adverb, right? We learned just before. This is an adverb of manner. He is driving slowly. If I say he is driving, can I use any of these words here before this, slowly? Yes, I can use it. What is it? I can use the word so slowly. If I say he's driving so slowly, so slowly is an adverb, and so is also another adverb, but this so is an adverb of degree, and this is an adverb of manner. I guess you understand. So sometimes degree adverbs can work for an adjective, as you can see, very slow driver, and sometimes the degree adjectives work for the adverb itself, as you can see here, he's driving so slowly. So until here, we've learned the degree adverb. Now we're moving on to another and the last kind of adverbs. Remember, these kinds are for basic learners to have the fundamental concept of adverbs. All my lessons now you see from the beginning to now are for basic and starters, not for advanced learners. So I will mention in my videos if the lesson is for advanced learners. So no one will have a question like, we know these kinds, we don't need to know more, or these are not only the kinds, there are other more kinds. So I just want to answer those questions, that these kinds are basic kinds for basic learners. So that's why I say frequency adverbs are the last kind of the kinds of adverbs today. Let's begin with it. My father drives most of the time in a week. Most of the time in a week. So I say, my father drives most of the time in a week. Don't you think that this sentence is a bit longer to say or to write? Can I make it shorter than this sentence? I think yes, I can if I want to. Even you can if you try it. What can I do? I can remove this part of the sentence, right? Because of this part, it seems a really longer sentence. So I could do one thing. I can say, my father drives, and I want to use just one word to give the whole meaning. Okay, and what can I do? I can rewrite this sentence here, and I would say, my father often drives. My father often drives. So the word often is actually giving you the whole of this meaning that you have just cancelled in the sentence. This word is actually talks about the happening of the action, how much time that action happens, right? How much times? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, most of the time. So these all questions, if you have in your mind, how many times something happens, you need to put one word to answer this. And those words are like, my father often drives. You can also add here, my father often drives every week, right? Often. But remember, there are some other words which talks about adverbs of frequency. We call them adverb of frequency. Frequency means the times of happening action. So what is the frequency of that action in a year, in a week, in a month? So to talk about the frequency of the action, you choose such words. There are more other words. I'm going to list them here. For example, always, often, sometimes, usually, rarely, never. This is a list of all adverbs of frequency. So the point is there a ranking? For example, if something is happening 25 days in a month, so do you think I'm going to use the word rarely? No, because the meaning of rarely is something that happens maybe once a month, one time a month. So you can use the word rarely. If something happens 30 days of the month, like full 30 days, no single day is missed for that action. So you use the word always. I always watch TV. That means in a month, not a single day I miss. So I say I always watch TV. So the ranking, I can rank them this way. When you are 100% of that action, you do it. So you can use always. This is kind of 90% of happening. Sometimes is maybe 60%. And this usually can be 50%. Rarely can be lower than that, maybe 25% or maybe 5%. And never is 0%. I never watch football. That means in a month, not a single day that action happens. I never watch TV. I never drive a car. Not a single day. So you use never. But if you do it always, every day, and not a single day. So every day you use always. Not a single day you use never. If mostly you do that, you can use often. If not mostly, below mostly, use sometimes. You can use usually when it is 50% yes and 50% no. And when it is like below than usual, like maybe not sometimes, maybe one time or two times a month. So you can use the word rarely. So let me read for you these all adverbs of frequency. Always. Always. L is pronounced here softly, not always. You don't need to say always. Always. Often. You can pronounce the word often in two different types. Like you can also use T. You can pronounce it. Sometimes you cannot pronounce it in British and American Englishes. Often and often. Both can be correct pronunciation. Sometimes you must use S at the end. Sometimes. Whenever you use this, without S, it will be wrong. So you say sometimes, usually, not usually or usually, usually. Je sound is here. Usually, rarely. In American pronunciation, in British, rarely, rarely. Never, never, never. Okay? Always, often, sometimes, usually, rarely, never. So this is the end of kinds of adverbs. So to just wind up with you, I would like to highlight here that we talked about today adverbs, and then we had a quick overview of the first three kinds because we talked about them in details in last lesson. So then we talked about the remaining kinds of adverbs, which is a degree adverb and adverb of frequency. I hope you understand the lesson well. If you have any question or any criticism, you can please write them in the comment area. If you like the lesson, please like it and show me that you really like it. You can also write your appreciation in the comment area if you think this lesson can really help you or helped you or can be helpful for your students or for yourself if you're a learner. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.